Just, just you listen to Boomer Great One. He's going to tell you about how it was back in the olden days, back before fire, back when we walked uphill for everything. In fact, we didn't even have a concept of downhill because there was no downhill. Everything was uphill. We thought that was normal. We didn't even have a word for it because there was no alternative. It was uphill all the time. You just need to reach down and grab yourselves by your bootstraps and pull yourselves up, sonny. Because when I was your age, I bought a house for $25,000. And I made that money on my paper route and bussing tables at the local cafe. And if I could do it, you can do it too. You just need to reach down and pull yourself up and just buckle up there, buckaroo. God, I hate boomers.
So at any moment in time, just to warn you guys, I am expecting very important phone calls because I hope everyone has their sitting down chair. Man, the sitting down chair store must be making billions because you guys are going to be so shocked with this all these shocking things. But somebody screwed up and it was a contractor. Can you believe it? And so now, because contractors again are a bunch of sister fuckers, us normal, regular working Americans, all three of us, we have to like have some caveats. So I'm expecting a call where now I gotta go and I may just like, oh, see ya, but I'll be back. There's some would you like to start with some good news, boys and girls, this Monday? This is a 2-week-old article. 5 million student loan borrowers face mandatory collections starting May 5th. Well, looky at the time. Some 5 million Americans with defaulted student loan repayments will have their loans sent to collection on May 5th, the Department of Education announced on Monday. Next month, for the first time. Here's where, like, no, this is why the United States is over. Look. You're thieves and you're slave masters. That's what it. At the end of the day, I'm not even being facetious. You took money that wasn't yours, said you're going to pay it back, and now you're not going to pay. I don't give a fuck what the preamble was. I don't care who lied to you. You took money that wasn't yours. You spent it on, maybe some of you even spent it on tuition. I hear a lot of you spend it on food and partying and espressos. Oh, and the avocado and toast, right? Some even European vacations. Mostly you pissed it away on a college experience. You got a worthless college degree. Yes, you were lied to. It's still other people's money. And now you're not going to pay it back, which makes you a thief. And if you don't, all thieves are slave masters on an economic level because somebody else had to work up that money to give it to you, lend it to you on the false pretenses you were going to pay it back, which means they were your slave for a partial amount of time. And if you are, but I was like, I don't care, I'm entitled. You are a vile, evil human being. That's it. This is such a childishly simple discussion, yet we, as typical leftists, try to do, but it's not my fault. I was lied to. You know what? You could have been lied to. You were lied to. You were lied to by Democrats, socialist professors, and teachers about, oh my God. I don't care. You took other people's money. So other people are just supposed to be enslaved to you. That's the arrogance and hubris and ultimately powerful laziness of these people. And I'm sure there's a little bit of truth and a little bit of theater in all these videos. Like, I'm not paying back my loans. But and so going forward, no, for you employers out there, maybe you might want to look, if you're like, I'm trying to figure out the moral caliber of these employees, these prospective job applicants and employees. And of course, they are right. You corporate employers are scumbuckets and the ones who require these stupid college degrees in the first place, which you're not going to hire or pay a living wage for. And anyway, so it's like sharks eating piranhas and piranhas eating sharks. In the end, you all deserve each other. But for you corporate employers, like, these are thieves. These are immoral people. When the cameras aren't on them and the light, can you trust them to do the job? Probably not. Not well, anyway. Why? Because they're ultimately lazy. So here's my favorite. Next month, for the first time since student loan payments were paused due to the onset of the disease. Dude, that was 5 years, 4, depending on where you want to measure it. 4 years ago. How long has it been over? 3 years, right? You could have all had, look, average balance is $36,000. That 3 years post disease, all right? Because you were just completely helpless that entire time. All right, fine. $12,000 a year, you couldn't muster up a part-time job to earn another $12,000. You could do that babysitting. How weak and pathetic are the, well, let's just say all Americans. How weak and pathetic are you that you guys need a fucking deferment and a postponement and a deferral and a forgiveness program? Dude, just go work up the money and fucking pay it off. The watching younger people, although my generation, to be fair, it's people my age. I still think Gen X owns the largest share of student loan debt because a lot of us went on to get master's degree as we're older. Just this right here is a barometer as to the quality and caliber of American people and how trustworthy they can be and whether or not you want to invest in them. I don't care what the corruption perceptions index says. Go ahead. Don't pay it back. See what happens. Which means if they hadn't, the Department of Education will collect debts from borrowers who had defaulted, which means if they hadn't paid their debts around 9 months or 270 days before the pandemic. The announcement comes as scores of federal student aid employees have been terminated at the Department of Education as part of Donald Trump's effort to shutter the agency, which creates uncertainty for borrowers in the future of student loans. You know what's great? Why don't we stop lending you all? I'd have to look up the numbers. 300 billion, 400 billion a year in student loan. I'd have to look it up. Don't quote me on that. I wonder what would happen to tuition if we didn't lend every year hundreds of billions of dollars to you kids to go up there like, yeah, can I get a credit for $415? I wonder if tuition would go down if we didn't flood the money with fucking federal student loans all the time. What if we just didn't have student loans? And if you're not smart enough to go, but how would I pay for college? You would probably maybe take a leap year or a break year, whatever they call it. The universities and colleges would freak the fuck out because there wouldn't be any money coming in. I wonder if they'd have to lower tuition to make it affordable. I can't be in a country this fucking stupid where the solution to lowering tuition has been with us all the time and has stopped. Parents got to stop fucking giving their kids hundreds of thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars. You got to tell your kids, no, you're not going to that school. You're going to go to the community college or something sensible. We need to stop lending hundreds of billions of dollars every year. That would help. And although counterintuitive, but again, if you are this dumb of an American, you are the problem. We probably shouldn't be having all these scholarships either. I know that sounds counterintuitive, but you should just be like, nope, you got to pay cash for college. You cannot, but we're done flooding this market with all this fucking money. If you had to pay cash, I wonder what would happen to tuition costs. You people are the same ones who, I can't afford rent, print off more money, not knowing that that's going to make the situation worse long-term and permanently. Why is inflation? Why are things so expensive? I can't afford eggs. The announcement comes as scores of federal student debt. I already read that. Shutter the agency. According to former Undersecretary of Education James Cavall. The concern, we're talking to a Democrat, right? One of the people that caused the problem. Yes, they did cause the problem. The concern is the department is cutting the people who would help borrowers make this transition. No. There's no transition. You've had enough assistance and aid. You've had enough resources. I was talking to a guy like, yeah, I had some debt problems. I had to go get debt relief and debt help. What do you mean you had to go get debt? You know what the solution was? Pay your debts. That was it. And I think the poor guy just had to pay more interest or cost to pay these consultants or whatever their fee. There's no resources. There's no help. You go work an extra job or you stop spending money on booze and pot or whatever the fuck it is that you spend your money on. You take the extra money and you pay your debts back. That's it. This is not complicated. I bet you could do it online. You don't need a call. Hey, what are you doing? Talking about your feelings? What? What, a bunch of Democrat government workers won't have their, I got to talk to this person about how they can. Oh, okay, well, here's some resources. I'm going to send you a pamphlet. You want to you want to stroke each other's dick for an hour and not solve the problem? GDP, according to the Democrats, we just stroked each other's dicks, a la Paul Krugman. We didn't produce anything, but there was a lot of dick stroking going on. Look, 80% of our GDP is self-stroking of dicks. Why is there inflation? Why are they cuts the bags? You gonna watch Landman? Borrowers are trying to get help getting into affordable repayment plan or by applying for loan forgiveness. Why don't you just pay back your loans? All this, dude, I was talking to another friend. I said, I wonder how much time people who live on welfare, you got to apply and you got to prove and you got to, all the paperwork, all the standing in line. Wouldn't it just be easier to go fucking work a job? Standing in line, filling out paperwork, that's a job. Standing in the bus, waiting for the bus to get there because you get your free bus pass because you're too lazy to work up the money and go buy a car, that's a job. Have you thought I'm not saying going and making $100,000 a year. I mean, you just don't do that either. but have you thought of all that time? If you just put a little bit of time into a sensible trade, you'd be making about $30, $40 an hour. If they're eligible, just don't have the same resources they did. The resources before the department staff was cut in half. No, you weren't. What resources? Dude, here's another thing, Caval, you fucking lying sack of shit. How long did you have to go collect this? How long? Have we made any progress in lowering the balance of the payments of these people? Like them paying it off? No. So you're not actually doing your fucking job. So if you're not doing your job, why would we be paying you? Why? Because it's a welfare jobs program. Really, right? Credit counseling. We're going to talk on the phone and talk about each other's feelings. Hold each other's dick in each other's hand. And no progress was made that day. But boy, some union Democrats at the federal government got paid, right? The pause started in 2020 in Trump's first administration. Oh, Trump did that. How'd that work out? For all 43 million student loan borrowers implemented due to the economic hardship caused by the disease. This will be the first time in 5 years to repay 5 years. Oh my God. So Trump started it. To be fair, Trump's first term was not that good. I did not like him back then. I like him a lot more now. Caval said defaults can be tragic for borrowers. Yeah, it should be, or Caval. Dude, and who's NBC News? ABC News, which is owned by Disney. Arthur Jones II. Fuck you. By the way, to all you fake, I'm on the media now, not you fuckers. All these sob stories about avoiding responsibility. At the end of the day, you're all thieves. That's it. You just don't want to work. And we're getting mighty sick and tired of the fucking violins you media people have been playing for fucking decades. Oh, these people can't. This single mom, I know she's a slut and had 18 kids by 17 different fathers, but she's disadvantaged. We're so sick of it. I'm even going to look up Arthur Jones II because I know you're a fucking spoiled little bitch who has his fucking journal degree. You have no Twitter followers. You have no me. And, oh my God, we need more free shit. You wonder why your jobs are being replaced by fucking AI because it's the same fucking shit. More free shit. Nothing's our fault. Oh, it's disadvantaged. The concern is that the department is, cutting the people would help make the transition. Borrowers who are trying to get help by affordable program or loan forgiveness if they're eligible, just don't have the same resources that they did before the department staff was cut in half. Here we are. First time in 5 years, payments have begun. Caval. Oh, that's what happened. See, ABC News had to run an ad and then to kick the whole article down. So I'm 2 paragraphs already read. Thank you, ABC News. Have any of you ever bought anything on a pop-up ad? I sure the fuck haven't. Right? It can't work. Caval says defaults can be tragic for borrowers. In some cases, Caval said defaults can negatively impact credit scores. Well, yeah, they should. In some cases, they will. You don't pay back, you steal people's money. Well, geez, yeah, your credit score is going to take a hit, maybe. Defaults can negatively impact credit scores and future student aid. No kidding. You don't pay back your student loans, maybe we're not going to lend you more money. Several other states revoke driver's license over default. Well, that's not going to have any effect. None of these people have the driver's license to begin with anyway. However, the department emphasized that its effort will protect taxpayers from shouldering the cost. The people who work. Cost of student loans that borrowers willingly undertook. Secretary of Education Linda McMahon. Okay, so now we're talking to the current administration. It's like, yeah, we're treating you like adults. It's adult time. Also said taxpayers will no longer be responsible for irresponsible student loan policies of the previous administration. Well, Trump's the one that's initiated this, right? Is he making amends? The Biden administration misled borrowers. The executive branch does not have the constitutional authority to wipe out debt away, nor do the loan balances simply disappear. I know they're always doing tit for tat politics, but that is one thing where Biden or Democrat, doesn't matter who, where they keep giving you guys hope that was going to be paid off, and you wouldn't have to pay these student loan debts. That's how they got your votes too. And they never really ever delivered on that, which only makes it worse, because how many of you be perfectly honest, a lot of you most of that student loan debt could have been paid off during Biden's administration, where if you had just worked those 4 years, most, not all, you could have had to pay it off, man. You remember unemployment was really low. We can't find employees. It said the employers as they posted fake job postings. I'm aware of that. You could have just mowed yards, babysat, worked as a waitress, something. What did you do? I know it's going to be very hard to ask people, but go back and be honest about the inventory of your time. Take an inventory of your time during the Biden administration and the Trump administration. Weren't you wasting some time? Was all your time most purposely used? Was there not a ton of social media consumption and watching Landman? You watching Landman? You watching Yellowstone? Did you watch Game of Thrones? All that time. Could you not have worked? Could you not, or was there spending you could have cut? Could you not have taken the bus? Could you not have biked to work? Did you need that car loan? I guarantee you most of you could have paid off your student loan debts, but you just don't want to because you're lazy. You're not oppressed. You're not disadvantaged. You're just lazy. That's all it is. I mean, okay, you got hit by a truck. You probably are disadvantaged. Yes, I'm aware. Hundreds of billions have already been transferred to taxpayers going for the Department of Education in conjunction with the Department of Treasury will shepherd the student loan program responsibly and according to the law, which means helping borrowers return to repayment, both for the sake of their own financial health and our nation's economic outlook. The default loan is a loan that a borrower hasn't made in 270 days, according to the Office of Student Aid. When the loan officially enters default, it becomes eligible for mandatory collections. The collections on loans are typically done through wage garnishments, a legal procedure in which a person's earnings are required by court in order to withheld by. Look, if you ain't going to save the money, we will. That's great. That's great. All you look at the fucking painassery and the babysitting that has to go into getting fucking student loans back. Why? Again, I would argue there should be no student loans because that would actually lower tuition. But why is the taxpayer via the government a tax collection agency now? Why are we doing this? Why are we hounding adult children? And that's what you are. You are adult children who refuse to do what you said you're going to do, and that is pay people back. Now we gotta go. What a pain in the ass. I'm sure we could be spending our money on other things instead of credit counseling and babysitting and pulling teeth and credit collections. Typically done through wage garnishments, legal procedure earnings, blah, blah, blah. Withheld from an employer for the payment of the debt, according to the Department of Labor. Student debt can also be collected through offsetting tax funds or other federal benefits. Good, because you're already on tax, but you're already on some. That's funny. We're going to garnish your welfare check. Okay. Why did you lend these people the like? No, you shouldn't be lending it. If you are going to lend it, why did you lend it against students or college degrees that are completely worthless? Like, why don't you just lend to like, okay, you're an engineer, you're probably going to make your money back. You're an accountant, we're going to make your money back. We'll lend to you. I'm going to major in political journalism, lesbians. No, you're not getting no money. You're paying cash. You hate Westminster. Yep, we sure do. Yep. Ironically, sparing those poor people the financial crippling lives that the Democrats led them down. The Democrats, yes, they did. They did. Go poll teachers and professors. You go look who you gave your money to. You didn't give it to Republicans. You gave it to Democrats called professors and teachers. Which can include one's Social Security. Oh no. The collections process starting in just 2 weeks is blocking these borrowers' path out of default, according to Student Borrower Protection Center executive. Oh, Mike Pierce. Yeah, so that's like this. Not the Student Borrower Protection Center executive executive. The Student Borrower Protection Center. That's the name. Executive director. That's the title. Mike Pierce is his name. It's this like nonprofit of a bunch of lawyers who just want to bitch and whine and like say, yeah, it's okay to steal. That's it. I just simplified it. It's not anything more nuanced than that. Appears that the Trump administration is feeding them into the maw of government debt collection machine. Yeah, good. This is cruel. No, it is. You know what's cruel is a bunch of pretentious little assholes from the ages of 18 to 24 borrowing money against the taxpayer and going and partying, having a college experience, not an education with it, and wanting everyone else to bail them out of a 4-year party. That's cruel. I'm not even going to read what he said because he's not the media and he's a liar. Well, he's not a liar. He's a propagandist. But the administration efforts to place borrowers into involuntary collection programs would be paired with a comprehensive communication outreach program to ensure borrowers understand how to return to repayment or get out of default. News also comes to administration working to rehome $1.7 trillion portfolio to the other agencies. Trump announced the loan system would be moved to the Small Business Administration immediately. Why the Small Business Administration? Dude, you want to talk about a scam there? Every fucking piece of shit entrepreneur I ever dealt with in banking, we'd always get some kind of guarantee from the Small Business Administration. You don't know because it's not as big as the student loan crisis. But the Small Business Administration, like guaranteed or partially guaranteed a shit ton of loans for these entrepreneur make-believe hobbyists. After the announcement, Caval, who worked in senior roles in Obama and Biden, told ABC News under Obama included moving some loan functions to permanent treasury. Warren shifting, so again, could cause real world. We're at the point now where millions of borrowers are late on their student loans. Yeah, so they might have to get to work and do something. Oh, no. Some of you people might have to be adults and do what you said you were going to do. Look at that. You have like presidential department heads acting like thumb-sucking babies. Oh my God, man, this is a crisis. You might have to pay it back. I'm so sick and tired of basic ethics being controversial or common sense. You need to lose weight. Oh my God, do you know that they're going to have a mental crisis if they have to set down the food and go for a walk? This is all Trump's fault. No, it's the students who signed up for fun. And I'll grant it was the parents and teachers and guidance counselors. Like college. I'll grant it that. Yeah. For the department to be focused on laying off half its staff and going through a fundamental reorganization, how administrators these programs, really critical weeks for borrowers. I fuck off, Arthur Jones, Arthur Jones, Arthur Jones, the second, Arthur Jones. That's what Crowbar Jones. None of you guys know who Crowbar Jones is? Crowbar Jones. Such a good show. Okay. Hang on. I got to go. I'll come back, get the super chats. See, this is the world we live in now. All those people didn't go to college. No, I'm kidding. They're tradespeople. Link below are 2 resources for young people not to be like these adult children who are thieves and slave masters. You can get the book Worthless, the Young Person's Indispensable Guide to Choosing the Right Major. That's linked below. And I'll make sure that when you go to college, you'll have a high chance of having a well-paying job afterwards. You won't be some needle dick political science major. The other one is How Not to Become a Millennial. The millennials were lied to about everything. And I will grant some sympathy to them for that. However, that does not excuse them from stealing people's money and being parasites their entire lives. Not that all millennials are parasites, of course. However, if you would like to not be a 40-year-old whose tax refund is going to be garnished or taken away in whole, or, hey man, I need a student loan bailout, please go get the book, How Not to Become a Millennial, so you're not a poor, middle-aged person who's looking to freeze her eggs because you were too busy partying and going to Europe on student loan, and now you got like $1,000 or $100,000 in student loan debt. Inquisitor Tibby, $5. Just by the way, and May 5th. Today is May 5th. That article is 2 weeks old. Today is May 5th. Today is the day that they're going to start cracking down and collecting. So for you students, you got a choice. Okay, or student debt holders, I should say. All this garbage, all this complication. How about you just work a second job and pay back your student loans? All right. Or do you want another? How long has it been? I mean, depending on your age, for my generation, good Lord, 30 fucking years. Could you imagine that? Gen X, they're the ones. I should really be slamming on Gen X. You guys, you're in your 50s, late 40s, 50s, maybe even some of you approaching 60, and you got student loan debt from what, the 80s and the 90s? Dude, that's fucking sad, man. What are you? You're 50. You're my student loan bailout. What are you, a boomer? Inquisitor Tibby, just for $5. Just a reminder, these regards rhymes with our word had about 5 years ever since COVID of 0% interest. Yes, you're right. You're right. 0% interest. So it wasn't even accruing. The taxpayer was losing money on inflation and interest. Like, how easy mode do you need it? And they still bitch and whine. This is why you never help out people. Never help people. All you're doing is shielding them from the real world, and then they come expectant of it. What do you mean you're not giving me more money? Special guest celebrity and expert on everything. Professor Fuckwitz, PhD. Dr. Fuckwitz, $5. Aaron, did you account for the money multiplier effect on the forgiven loans? That money could go into vape shops and cycle the economy many times. I always wondered. I'm like, wait, the money multiplier effect. Like, no, because if the taxpayer had the money instead of the students, they would have spent the exact same dollars or left it in the savings account, which would have been lent out. So you had, in other words, there's no money multiplier effect because the people you're taking the money from, they would have spent that money on something else, probably what they wanted. There is no money multiplier effect. Cliff, $2, was unsubscribed to you, now resubscribed. I don't care if you people subscribe or don't. I prefer people do, but I don't care if you unsubscribe. Ass Bucket, $2. Why is the government even in the student loan business? I don't know. I think there probably was some good intention Democrat, like, we want to help with short-sighted, low IQ people, like, but how are poor people going to afford college? I know, let's lend them $1 trillion. I mean, $500 billion every year. Oh my God, why is tuition high? We need to lend them more money. It's I get the switch right here. I got the switch right here. Dre, $2. But they say you can't put a price on education. Yes, you're right, Dre. You can't put a price on education. Hey, and Dre, did you know if you do what you love, you won't work a day in your life? From parking lot, detected someone. Oh, good. Someone's already there. I might have to get good. Let's no more super chats. Let me get through it. Uber noob, $2. Cappy, camera's color is changing blue to orange. Yeah, I'm aware. What am I going to do about it? right? Like of all the fucking I got shit going on. And then like it just like there's these little needle dick things like, oh, you're gonna change the color. I'm not criticizing you, Uber noob. I'm just like, just they can't do it. Yeah, see, it changed again. They just no one can just make a fucking thing work. Green shorts are $5. Corporate America doesn't deserve hard workers or moral people anyway. You're right. You're right. So it's kind of a catch-22. We're deserving of each other. And yours, 2230 generous dollars. I paid back my student debt, even though the Colorado Department of Veteran Affairs effed me over on my scholarship related to my trade school, to which I haven't been able to get hired for 2 years later. What, really? What kind of trade you got, man? Let me know. Maybe we can help you find a job. All right, that's it. I got to go. I'll see you guys later. Toodles.